So let's talk Love is Blind. Oh my goodness, I have been loving this season. It's been so entertaining. I just wanted to give a little bit of commentary, and obviously we know that they're real people and that the camera only shows but so much. So I'm just gonna speak on what the camera shows, and this is in no way to come against anybody's character in real life or anything like that. This is just commentary on the show. So let's start off with Bliss and Zach. So first off, let me just say that when they were in the pods and Bliss told Zach, if you choose Irene, I'm just gonna know like what your judgment is like. I completely agreed with her. I was like, yeah, no, because at the same time though, Zach was only getting a certain part of Irene that we saw how she was like in the house with the other girls. So it was kind of like, it was just iffy. It was iffy. And that's not to say that Irene is not like a great person in real life, but what was shown in the show, it was iffy. It was definitely iffy. And Irene definitely shows Zach like, I'm not feeling you. Like she was telling that man, stop looking at me like that. He said, it was so funny, but I'm not gonna lie though, I didn't blame her for telling him that. He was kind of staring at her intensely. It was intense. But I am happy that Zach ended up like going to look after Bliss, because I do think they did have a connection. But at the same time though, the fact that Zach didn't choose Bliss originally, it brings me pause. And it was so sweet when he said this, and he was right. Like, she deserves somebody who's gonna like pick her first. I think that those were his words. But he seems like a cool guy. He seems very successful. He's definitely like, he's definitely a character. I know that he chose Irene for a reason. And my thing is just that if Irene would have shown Zach that attention, and if she was attracted to Zach, I don't know if he would have chose Bliss. That's my concern. Because technically, Irene was the one that called it off. Because if Irene gave Zach that attention that he was looking for, showed him that she was attracted to him, I think they would still be together, to be honest. Because I definitely do think Zach chose Irene for a reason. Bliss is such a beautiful, wonderful girl, and part of me just wonders whether, they'll be able to, how they will move forward, because I still think that Irene was the one that ended it. I don't really think it was Zach. I think Zach had no choice because Irene was like, nah. So moving on to the next couple, I would say let's talk about my favorite couple, and I feel like it's everybody's favorite couple, Tiffany and Brett. They're so freaking cute, such an adorable couple, very smooth storyline. Like, it's just, everything is just very sweet. I love that they're both like go-getters. They're both doing well. They're both successful, and they're both having their way out here, and that they met each other. It just seemed too perfect. So I'm super happy for them. So that's cool. Then to the next people, let's talk about, this was not an official couple, but let's talk about Micah and Kwame, because y'all, so first off, I would say that Kwame definitely really liked Micah. He definitely truly had feelings for that girl, and Micah just shut that down. I think she was feeling him a little bit, but she was definitely feeling Paul more. And so she was like, nah, and I think he definitely talked to her for too long. At that beach party thing, they were discussing for way too long. I 100% feel Chelsea, because I would not have been happy, because what are y'all talking about? Like, what do you really have to say for that long? And it's definitely clear that Kwame still likes Micah, but Micah does not like Kwame. And, she doesn't like him on that level, but she's also still kind of has that, like, a little bit, I don't want to say if it's flirty energy, but I think it's energy such that, hey, I used to like you, and I'm still want to be cool with you, but underlying that he likes you. So it's kind of like, I don't know. It's an interesting dynamic between them. And it's such that Micah knows so clearly that Kwame likes her and not Chelsea on that level. But they also both know that Chelsea is probably like the safer bet for Kwame, and Micah's not having it. Micah said no, So I think that's that dynamic that's there. But Micah kind of also is, in a way, egging Kwame on, like, let me know, like, low-key that how you feel about the whole thing. And the way Kwame looks at her is like, girl, you know how I feel. Stop playing. You know, you know I want you, and you know I'm not really feeling her on that level that she's feeling me on. So that's a dynamic I see between them, and I wouldn't be cool with it, honestly, because it just, I don't know, it's such a messy situation. But at the end of the day, the facts are the facts. I think Kwame definitely would have loved to be with Micah, honestly. Would have really loved to be with Micah. And I feel like at that the pool party, at that beach stuff, if Micah would have been like, oh, I think I should have chose you and I want to be with you, I think he would have left Chelsea in a heartbeat. I don't even think he would have thought 2 times about it. You know what I mean? I just don't. But that said, I didn't like that he talked to her for that long. I do like that he seems to be honest, and he's being very transparent with Chelsea. Like, hey, he told her, like, when I see her at the spot, I'm gonna need my closure. I'm probably gonna want to talk to her. And Chelsea was supportive for that. You know, she's better than me, you know. But but yeah, so I see her mindset though. Just let him close that chapter and be done. But I will say that, yeah, in that beginning, he was a little bit shaky to me, and I wasn't necessarily feeling, you know, his behavior, because I thought it was very inconsiderate of Chelsea, because girl was right there and you're just like focused on Micah. But it is what it is. And then in terms to, like, obviously we've seen like this stuff on social media talking about him and stuff like that, and you know, some of the stuff has been funny, but ultimately I just hope somebody tells him, like, you know, honestly, I know he said that he would like to be called Alex, and I don't know, I could be misinterpreting it, but I feel like there's something deeper there. And I just hope he knows that you can still be everything that you are, and you can still love whoever you want to love and be attracted to whoever you're attracted to, and still be Kwame. You don't have to be Alex. You know, the way you are is accepted, and you can still be Kwame. You know, I'm Nigerian. I believe he's Ghanaian, but like, you're still African. Like, you know, you don't have to be Alex, you know, even though, but I think that, like, that probably goes to like how he's assimilated, and, you know, who he's been around and things of that nature. But, you know, it's just, you're great just the way you are, and you don't need to be Alex. You know, Kwame is you know, is great too. You know, I don't know if I'm articulating it properly, but just to let him know that he's loved and accepted how he is, and he doesn't have to be anything other than who he is to still be the way that he is and like what he likes. You don't have to be Alex to you know, to be you. But again, I could be reaching, and it could just not be that deep, and it could just be he just liked the name Alex. But when I heard that, I don't know, I felt a little bit hurt, like, oh, maybe there's something there. Like, I felt like maybe there might be some hurt there, and especially because he told a story about how he couldn't take his prom date or something to prom because he was Black or something like that. Y'all remember that story? Comment down below for clarity. But yeah, so there's that. So yeah, so in the beginning, I will say that I thought that maybe Kwame was the problem, and he kind of was in the beginning, because he just didn't like Chelsea like that. Chelsea liked him so much more than he liked her. But I do think he likes Chelsea, but not as much as she likes him. I think he likes Micah more, but Chelsea is the safer bet. So when it comes to him and Chelsea, as time progressed, I realized, hold on, wait a minute. Chelsea's kind of, you know what I mean? I don't know. He's kind of like, actually, he's a great guy. He's a great guy, and he's actually making a lot of sacrifices for Chelsea. Chelsea's definitely having her way. Because at first I was feeling bad for Chelsea. I'm like, oh my gosh, Chelsea. But then I'm realizing, no. Chelsea's having her way. And he's kind of just going along with it. And that's why anytime he talks to somebody, he's like, well, technically she's getting everything that she wants. And I'm just kind of like here, just like, okay. But the thing is, it's also because he don't even really like her like that. So he's like, and I'm not even, you know what I mean? That's how it appears. I don't know their hearts. So he could really like her a lot, and it's just not coming off. Maybe I'm not receiving that. I'm not really seeing that as much on camera, but he could. But from what I see, it doesn't seem like he's that invested in her the way that she's invested in him. So I feel like he's just trying to constantly let people know that, hey, you know, I'm not getting that much out of this, because she's getting everything she wants, but I don't think she might be everything that he wants. And so all those sacrifices is hitting him harder. And he's also making a lot of sacrifices. I completely agree with him. He's saying goodbye to his whole world, and she's not really making that many sacrifices at all, to be honest. So that's when I started feeling bad for Chelsea, because I'm like, okay, Chelsea actually having her way. She actually is going about it. You know what I mean? Like how she wants to go about it. It's just that his heart's not really in it like that. And he's not also like requiring her to be like, okay, well, you know, he's just going with her flow. He's not being like, no, I'm not doing it. He's like, okay, I guess, you know, he's just letting her lead, essentially. So that is what I noticed. And in just the way that Chelsea be looking at her, I'll be like, girl, like, let that man breathe, girl. Let that man breathe. I be getting nervous for Kwame. I'm like, Kwame, because I know Kwame is scared too. Sometimes he be laughing when she be saying stuff to him because it's overwhelming. Me as a viewer, sometimes I'm overwhelmed, you know? And I'm happy for Chelsea. I'm happy she really found somebody that just is the perfect person for her in her mind, you know? That's how she feels. So I guess that's what it looks like when you find that person, that's how you behave. And not even like she's behaving weird, but it's just so clear, like, she just all hands on deck, like, you know, she's just very, very invested. So I'm just like, oh wow. And then for Kwame, it's like, oh my gosh, you know, because he's not on that same page. And me as a viewer, seeing that dynamic, I'm like, oh goodness, you know. So it's very interesting. It's very interesting. I'm very curious to see how it all plays out. And then moving forward to Micah and Paul, they seem cute. They seem cute together. I don't really have much to say about them, but I do have something to say about her friend, how her friend just did not like Paul, and Paul was like, well, I don't care what she thinks, you know? And yeah, he didn't know that she didn't like him at this point. Well, maybe he felt it, I don't know. But this was the point where they were just giving off the energy like, yeah, she's very opinionated and her opinion really matters and all that. But I feel him, because it's like, what the heck? I don't know. I don't like scenarios like that. Like, she was like, well, you should care. Well, you should care. I don't think they meant any harm. I think they were trying to be playful but serious in a way. But I just felt like it was unnecessary. Like, y'all don't have to do all that. But everybody's different. Everybody's different. But I just thought it was a bit unnecessary. Speaking of which, yeah, I have been noticing like some catty behavior on this season. I've noticed some catty behavior with the girls this season. But anyways, moving on to Jackie and Marshall. Man, I might have to make another video because, girl, what? Like, oh my goodness. I don't know where to start with them, but I will say that I do love Marshall, but when Josh said that, called Marshall NBA Cryboy, I almost fell out. That joke was hilarious. But I think that fundamentally it comes down to who do I blame? I think I blame casting and the producers, because Jackie clearly was not ready to be on the show. Like, she herself said that she was crazy, and she kept on talking about how her family was gonna be like a big obstacle with this, and like it was just so it was so clear from the beginning, like it was just a lot in the background, you know. So I'm like, who's screening them? Like, you know what I mean? So I don't know. Jackie was definitely a character that I was rooting for. I was rooting for her and Marshall in the beginning, and then things started to get very weird. I'm not gonna lie, it started to get very weird. And I want to say this, I don't think that there's anything wrong with the fact that Jackie asked Marshall to be more aggressive, I think that's how she worded it. So I don't think there's anything wrong with her asking him that. I don't know how she asked though. I don't know in what manner she told him, because it seems like he felt like his manhood was being attacked. So I don't know how she said it. So I can't vouch for how she said it. But for her expressing her wants to him, I don't think that's bad. But fundamentally, could they be incompatible? Yes. It could be. I don't know. Because also, I'm not gonna lie though, I could also see that dynamic kind of working and her ending up like becoming like more, I don't know, I could see them end up working, like, and then both of them balancing each other out. But I will also say though, when he just flat out called her a project, yeah, I absolutely believed that that's how he saw her. Absolutely, 110%. But I do also believe that, yeah, he really liked her. I do believe that he really liked her. And tell me, is it just me or does he also kind of give you Will Smith vibes? Like, you know, you see the looks that he makes sometimes? He gives me Will Smith, Childish Gambino. Like, I don't know. It's just, let me know if it's just me. But I could make a whole nother video and go more in depth. Make sure to comment down below your thoughts and let me know if you want me to talk more about it. Thanks so much for watching. Bye. Fragrance of the night is Tobacco Rose by BDK. Wipe, I don't know what's on it. I was thinking to add gentle fluidity, but maybe I might add a little bit of gentle fluidity to it as well. Okay, so this is what we're looking like. I went ahead and put on lashes. I put brown lip liner and pink lip. That's what I normally do, the same old, same old. Was thinking to put on lip gloss, but I think I'm fine. Uber's here now, so we're gonna head out. I'm thinking whether to add some gentle fluidity to my Tobacco Rose. The hair's a mess. My hair is low-key still kind of wet, but it is what it is. And you can see I'm wearing this top with, I'll show you guys like the whole fit, but yeah, this is what I look like.